After playing Dawn of Defiance for about 4 hours in one sitting, I am not even close to capable of providing a review, because the game is pretty massive, but I can give you my first impressions, which have been very positive so far. Firstly, it's worth noting that you can rebind all keys for both keyboard and controller. There are quite a few graphical options, and you have an option to host the game with up to 4 players, or create a single-player world, which is what I did. There are some world settings you can tweak, and dropping your items on death can also be disabled if you don't want that. Because there is no character creation yet, the game throws us into the world right away, and right from the start you notice that the game looks pretty damn good, and it runs pretty much flawlessly on my 4090. The world is not procedurally generated, which is a massive plus in my book, and the world definitely is on the massive side, which, coupled with the fact that it is a handcrafted world, surely was a ton of work. Like the starting island here, that serves as your tutorial, may look tiny compared to the main island, but I spent a couple hours just on this smaller island. It's much bigger than it looks, so I can only imagine just how big the actual island is, with all its biomes. Starting out is simpler, thanks to the tutorial in the upper left corner. At first, it's the usual stuff: gathering basic materials and crafting your first basic tools and weapons, killing your first enemies and animals, and setting up a basic shelter. The animations in the game are pretty satisfying, whether it's collecting a shit ton of thatch or berries, chopping down trees, and then seeing all that stuff smoothly float into your inventory. But also the majority of the combat animations and sound effects get the job done most of the time. Sure, there are some animations that could feel smoother, but for a game that's just released in early access, this is very good quality here. As you do all this stuff, you passively level up the respective skills, so you get better at these things over time, which already is pretty satisfying. And you also unlock new skill bonuses at certain levels. Now I think I can already say that building in this game is very good. Of course, only 4 hours into the game, I only had access to the basic stuff for now, which is the thatch building kit. Later, you are going to unlock other building kits as well, but the entire process is straightforward, simpler, and in my experience so far, free of bugs. Snapping works perfectly. You can build freely as well if you want, and deconstructing refunds the materials to your inventory, so it has pretty much everything it needs right out of the gate. We have seen what will be possible once we advance in the game, and I am very much looking forward to building cool stuff like that. You can even change the color on most of the building parts. The crafting is pretty good and not complicated, thanks to a user interface that is clearly structured. Processing your animal carcasses is simple. You just drop them at the butcher block, and it spits out the individual animal parts. The game rewards you for using your bow, because getting a clean shot will in turn give you a better condition on the carcass. One thing I will say is that as far as I have seen, there is no crafting from storage, which I hope gets implemented later. It's absolutely a must for any crafting game. Other important quality of life stuff, like auto-sorting inventory or the automatic transferring of similar items to chests, is also not a thing yet. There are some minor other things. For example, picking up resources that are already in your hotbar don't transfer to the hotbar slot. But all in all, my beginner experience here is very solid. I do not recall a single bug in these 4 hours, which is commendable. And this is all I have for today. Leave a like if it was helpful, and I'll see you next time.